morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice to Radio. So today, we're going to be looking at the top 10 most expensive cards from the new Pokemon TCG expansion Hidden Fates. Although if I'm honest, I'm kind of lying to you a little bit, because Hidden Fates is split into Hidden Fates proper and Shiny Vault, and they're all from Shiny Vault. And it's not even close. As we go through the video, at the top of the screen you will see two prices for each of the cards. The first one is a rough price from Troll and Toad. The second one is a rough price from TCG Player. Two things to bear in mind. Firstly, yes, I have looked at other sites. They're just two of the bigger ones. They were easy to collate the information from. Secondly, not all of these are in stock. These cards are very sought after at the moment, so please bear in mind that these prices are subject to change dramatically as cards come in and out of stock. Couple quick honourable mentions here. Shiny Espeon GX, generally around about a $40 card, as is the Gold Brooklet Hill, and couple dollars more, the Gold Ether Paradise Conservation Area. Those three cards are close, but no cigar. So in at number 10, we've got Shiny Gardevoir GX, for which you'll pay somewhere in the region of $40 to $50. Now, Gardevoir has always been one of the most popular Pokemon. The design has always resonated with people. Now, unlike a lot of cards on this list, it has already rotated out of the standard format. It did actually win the World Championships back in 2017 when it first got released, but unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, those days are behind it. These shiny GXs you're going to see a lot of on this list, and they are shiny in that they are the alternate colours from the video games, as well as being just very fancy shiny cards. But Gardevoir's always been one of the more popular ones. In at number 9, another kind of card that we see quite a lot on the most expensive list, Gold Stadiums, Gold Mount Coronet to be precise, for which you'll pay probably closer to about $50. Now, Mount Coronet is not even a hideously playable card at the moment. It's far from the best card around. The difference is Mount Coronet is legal for tournament play. It's not great, unfortunately, but it is legal for tournament play. So you can pop it in a deck, and you can use it to recover your metal energy. It's kind of cool. Came around an Ultra Prism, survived the rotation. Doesn't see a huge amount of play, unfortunately, but it could, ladies and gentlemen. One day, you never know, it could. I'm just glad we're finally getting them. Made a video about how we hadn't got them, waited a while, now we're getting them. I'll link it in the description. So, in at number 8, Shiny SYLVEON GX, for which you'll pay something like $40 to $55. SYLVEON is probably the most popular of the evolutions at the moment. That is to say, the Pokemon that evolved from Eevee. People love SYLVEON. It's cute. It is stereotypically a Pokemon which is supposed to appeal to girls more than boys. I cannot tell you whether that is actually true or not, but I can tell you that a very good female friend of mine got married in a Sylveon and Umbreon themed wedding. Her after Sylveon, her lovely husband after Umbreon. People love some Sylveon. It has rotated out of the standard format. It was a very good deck for a while, using the magical ribbon attack to search your deck for any free cards, and it was a little bit more of a control deck that tried to stop your opponent getting set up. The deck is gone, the card is still expensive. In at number 7, we've got the Gold TAPU BULU, a $45 to $50 card. You'll notice that all of the cards on the bottom end of this list are in the kind of $40-ish to $50-ish range, and expect these cards to flip around somewhat wildly. And Tapu Bulu is a pretty good card. It saw play for quite a while with Vikavolt, and then got replaced by Rayquaza, unfortunately. But it's still a pretty good card, ladies and gentlemen. It has long since rotated out of the standard format, which is somewhat regrettable, But these gold cards, we don't have very many of them, so when a gold card comes up, we need to take it a little bit more seriously. Speaking of which, coming in at number 6, TAPU FONI GX, a $50 card. Now, TAPU FONI GX really was never a good card. It was teched into Glycopod decks for a little while as a one-off tech, mostly just to use the GX attack to get rid of one of your opponent's Pokemon. It's fine, but it never saw a huge amount of play. It was never a particularly great, playable, impressive, call it what you will kind of card. But it's one of the gold cards. And apparently Tapu Fini is more popular than Tapu Bulu. Remember, when we're looking at these cards, it's not just the playability we're looking at, it's how popular the Pokemon is that is going to determine the space on the list. In at number 5, we've got Shiny MEWTWO GX. It's Mewtwo. That's really what puts it up. Mewtwo, it is very hard to find this for under $50. Frankly, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very, very expensive card. As it probably should be, to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. As it probably should be. Now, Mewtwo GX was never particularly popular, if I'm honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. It was never a particularly good card. It was never a particularly playable card. But Mewtwo's kind of like Charizard, and more on him in a minute. People love Mewtwo. Simple as that. Yes, it saw its way into a few Malamar decks here and there, but it was never really for that. Was never a great card. In at number 4, the biggest and baddest of the Tapus, it's Tapu Lele, for which you would be lucky to be paying $60. And Tapu Lele, now look, it has rotated out of standard. Most of these cards have. I mean, as I look down the list at the moment, there are a whopping 3 cards that haven't rotated. We've already seen Mount Coronet, there's 2 more coming up. But Tapu Lele is still legal in Expanded, and Tapu Lele is still great in Expanded, and it's still a gold card. Is Tapu Lele the most popular of the Tapus? I honestly don't know. It might be. But I think far more importantly, it gains a bit of a reputation because of how playable and great it was for how long, and that makes people want to get it a little bit more. Plus, it's still legal in Expanded, and it's still really good in Expanded. And frankly, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, that is a recipe for a very expensive card. It's a very, very nice gold card of one of the best Pokemon we've had in a very, very long time. In at number 3, Shrine of Punishment, a $60 to $70 card. And this is one of the 3 on the list that is still legal in the standard format, and unlike Mount Coronet, it is good. Shrine of Punishment is one of the best cards we've got around at the moment. It's one of the premier stadiums. It puts 1 damage counter on each Pokemon EX and GX between turns. So you play it in a non-GX deck, and then you just get extra damage after your turn, after your opponent's turn, after your turn, after your opponent's turn, and it adds up pretty gosh darn quickly. Great stadium, legal in standard, playable gold. That is a recipe for spending a lot of money. And in at number 2, the other card that's legal around at the moment, we've got Cynthia. Full Art Cynthia. Now, what I find very interesting about this, of course, this is not the only Full Art Cynthia that we actually have. This is the second Full Art Cynthia, and if you find it for under $100, you're doing pretty gosh darn good. It is, as I look at the moment, approximately, take it with a pinch of salt, double the price of the other Full Art Cynthia. It's better artwork. It's got Garchomp on. If I were the kind of guy that played Full Arts, I have a child and a second one on the way, I don't have the money for Full Art. But if I did, this would be the one I would choose, not the previous Cynthia. Maybe it's new and shiny and that's impacting the price and it will go down shortly. That is absolutely possible. But at the moment, this is an extremely expensive card. Of course, Cynthia is a staple in almost every deck in the format. It is very much a 4 of in the majority of decks. Not every deck plays it, but most do, and a lot play it as a 4 of, and when you take one of the best cards in the format, make it a full art and give it amazing artwork, keeps its price. I don't know how well this will last given that there is another full art Cynthia, but this one is better. But in at number 1 we got Charizard. The value of this card is extremely difficult to predict at the moment. I did a video just a couple of days ago about how one of these sold for $10,000, and I have spoken to the seller and confirmed it is a real sale. Thank you to him. But that was a Black Label Beckett, which is extremely difficult to get. It basically shows the card is in absolutely perfect condition. And that was when the hype was at the highest. They're being listed for between about $350 and $600, but I've seen them go for more. We really don't know. What is absolutely certain is that it is by a huge margin the most expensive, most valuable card in the set. Honestly, from about 5 downwards, you can mix them all up as you like. 1 to 4 is a bit more set, but Charizard is number 1 by a mile. How much will the price settle at? That is a question that is going to be determined by a whole bunch of factors. But the fact is that Charizards are always the most expensive popular cards. When I did my list of most expensive cards that you can pull from packs a little while ago, I'll try and remember to pop a link in the description. 2 of the highest were the Rainbow Rare Charizard from Burning Shadows and the Rainbow Rare Reshiram and Charizard from Unbroken Bonds. This will not go down in price to a sensible value because Charizard cards never do. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen, the most expensive cards from Hidden Fates. Now it's time for you guys to chime in. Tell me what you think about this. Tell me which of these cards you've pulled. Tell me which of these cards you would like to pull. Go nuts in the comment section, but please be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at The Wassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassyPlays, where we talk about a whole bunch of games that don't even have any Pokemon in. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.